Nexon has revealed some of their plans on the upcoming Season 2 of the first Descendant. The most notable ones are the new Descendants and Ultimate version coming in the next season. Whole new content, which developers said to be an improvement compared to the Season 1 slop, and the best announcement of them all is the new pity system, wherein the developers will try to improve the RNG system of the game. They have said that they will implement a new system wherein it will give you higher chance of getting an item after a couple of tries. Basically, I think what Nexon are trying to say here is when you open an amorphous material but you can't seem to get the item that you need, then your chances of getting that item afterwards will increase until you finally get the item. However, the scope of this new system wasn't mentioned, and my biggest question is that will it just affect the percentage of weapons and descendants we get from amorphous materials, or this new pity system will also be implemented for the amorphous materials itself? Especially those materials and outpost missions wherein the only way to get a higher chance of getting these amorphous is by using Sharon to infiltrate the Vulgus outpost. Since the addition of the 400% infiltration dungeon in the game, farming amorphous materials and outpost mission is now the worst and most boring part of the game in my opinion. The 400% dungeon rewards 2 amorphous materials per completion, and players love this since it rewards you more stuff when doing a hard mission in the game. This makes farming amorphous materials rewarding, and I would rather spend time optimizing a build meant for the 400% dungeon compared to optimizing a Sharon build for outpost missions right now. The 2 amorphous drops in 400% dungeons are guaranteed, plus you get other extra rewards in the process. On the other hand, you only get a small percentage of getting the extra amorphous rewards in outpost missions with a Sharon, which makes it really annoying. I'm hoping that Nexon will also fix this in Season 2, and if they will add the pity system, I just wish that the amorphous materials from the outpost missions will get the treatment, or they can just simply remove the outpost mission and bring new missions, because based from what we saw in their constant update, players are having more fun in missions wherein they stay active and not wait for a couple of seconds standing in one spot. The worst part is the RNG in Outpost sucks, which makes it a dead game mode for some. Now, I also just want to clarify what Nexon specifically stated on this pity system prospect. They have specifically mentioned that to address drop rate concerns in Season 2, we're introducing the target reward system. While certain items have a 20% drop rate, some players might obtain the item on their first try, while others may not get it even after 10 attempts. Our analysis of server-wide logs shows that the overall drop rates align with the intended 20%, but individual player experiences often do not converge to this 20%, leading to variability. The target reward system aims to address this by allowing players to select a mission and earn guaranteed rewards after a set number of attempts. Additionally, we plan to offer enhanced shape stabilizers as limited time event rewards, which increase the chances of obtaining rare items when opening amorphous materials. We are committed to providing a balanced farming experience that feels fair to all players. If I understood correctly, the target reward will work very similarly to the so-called pity system. The system, quite popular in gacha games, ensures a guaranteed drop of the wanted item after a certain number of failed attempts, as some players reported that they had to repeat the same mission 100 times before getting the desired item, so all would most definitely welcome a system like this. But just like that I have discussed earlier, they developers never mentioned about amorphous material farming, and it seems like the pity system will just be implemented on the items that are inside the amorphous materials. Honestly, the first time I saw the whole loot system of the game, I know that I'm going to play the game since I am very familiar with it. Despite some saying that it's more like a gacha game, similar to Genshin Impact because of its ridiculous RNG, I was one of the guys who always said that the whole two-step farming of the game is derived from Warframe. The relic system of Warframe is very similar to the first Descendant's amorphous materials. In Warframe, you can farm relics from different missions, and then you can crack them open in Void Fissure missions. In the first Descendant, you can also farm amorphous materials in different mission types, and you can crack them open in the Void Intercept boss battles. The only difference is that the first Descendant is focused on boss battles, which is a cool idea, but in my opinion, the current Omnia Fissures of Warframe just overshadowed the Void Intercept battles. This mission alone lets you crack open any relics, and it's not that taxing at all since you can enjoy the game mode in a scaling type of scenario, wherein you can test your builds once enemy scales to the highest level. It also is a great game mode in my opinion, as it highlights the strong points of a looter shooter, which is killing hordes of enemies and obtaining loot in the process. The Void Intercept battles are good, and it can be further improved in the future, and honestly, I don't have any complaints about it. I just find the Omnia Fissure more fun to play than doing Void Intercept battles in public queue scenario. However, I am very surprised though, as I thought that Nexon would also adapt the good side of the relic system grind, but it turns out that they have missed the opportunity to do so. I'm talking about how Digital Extremes handled the cracking of relics. In the first Descendant, each players after completing a void intercept battles can open their amorphous materials, and the chances of getting the item they want can only be affected by stabilizers. But honestly, stabilizers are not that helpful in most cases, and you still end up not getting the items that you need. In Warframe, the relic system is goated in my opinion, as players can also select the rewards obtained by other players. So basically, if you are 4 players doing a Void Fisher mission, then you have 4 chances of getting a very rare item in the game, or you can always use the same relic version so that everyone gets a higher chance of getting the best item that is inside the relic era. This is really a great system as it cuts down the insane grind, and it somehow comforts a player if they have not received the item that they want from a relic, because he or she can always look at the other rewards from his or her teammates and may choose to receive the other rewards if he or she pleases. I really thought there's a chance for Nexon to adapt the same loot sharing of relic system for the first Descendant, but it never happened, and I think the very reason for this is because it's too early to implement this system. Warframe already have a decade of content, and there are tons of things to farm, so a loot sharing system would just make sense. In the first Descendant, however, the game is at its early stage, and the content they have released on launch in Season 1 can be finished in weeks for those people who can know life a game. But I am guessing if Nexon will continue their dedication of listening to community feedbacks and improving their game, we will see a future for the first Descendant wherein everyone can share loot, and in fact, the developers already hinted us that they are looking into player trading, but not focus on implementing the feature yet. For those who haven't played Warframe, the player base might say that one of the reasons why they think Warframe is better compared to the first Descendant is because of the player trading. There is a player market in the game, and it's really easy to get items if you have enough platinum in your account. And mind you, platinum is also obtainable through free-to-play content. You can actually trade this premium currency for items such as prime parts, mods, and other stuff that you want in the game, with the exemption of prime accessories and Tenogen skins from the Steam shop. However, they forgot to tell you that player trading wasn't introduced during the release of Warframe. It took months before the developers decided to implement the player trading, and it's because of the dwindling player base which are annoyed of grind in Warframe also. Probably if the new pity system won't work for the first Descendant, then I think it's finally time to introduce the player trading system in the game, as if they'll continue to be like Destiny 2's microtransaction, then it will definitely end up bad for them. It will be a nightmare for Nexon, and I hope that they will not do the same thing in their game, just like how Bungie pissed off their player base with all their Eververse stuff. Honestly, the Battle Pass system of the game should be removed, or they should make huge changes about it as it's not rewarding players enough. If they want to continue the Battle Pass system, then I think it would be nice to include Descendant blueprints or anything valuable that the player base can benefit. Eventually, we will see these features I have talked in this video in the future with one condition, and that Nexon pumping great content on the first Descendant after the Season 1 flop. I hope that they have learned their lessons and gathered enough information on what the community likes and what the players hate. If the game continues a positive progression, the first Descendant could turn into a game wherein it will be played and enjoyed by their community for decades. So that's all about it. Now, I want to know your thoughts regarding this topic. Let us discuss in the comments section below. But before doing that, I humbly ask for your support by simply liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again in our next video. Squad Leader signing off.